Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Monday. The Euros is in full swing. Marky's joining me as always on these Monday evenings. Also joining us tonight, back by popular demand, may I add, the one Tony Brown from Legends 11. Tony, how are you, my friend?
Well, chaps, thanks for having me back on. This must
Great
be
to have
really
you on,
stuck.
Browner.
It must be stuck for people if you're asking me back on.
Well, people
Listen.
are tuning in. They probably think it's Yap Stam at the bottom of the screen there.
Yeah, more like Gollum.
Absolutely brilliant. So we've got a great show tonight lined up as always. So subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and drop a like on the video as always. And of course, all the links are down in the description. Go over, share the wealth, give a following there to all the crowd in Legends 11 as well. And also Letterkenny Rovers FC as well. All those links are down the bottom. If you're interested in going, if you want to buy tickets, whatever it is, all the info is down there. No excuse. Facebook page, Legends 11, and also Letterkenny Rovers FC.ie. No less. So make sure you're giving everyone a nice follow there. So where do we begin? Tony, we begin with you again. Talk to us. Legends 11, full swing in the summer. Plenty going on. Absolutely fantastic the last day out at Longford. I've seen some of the images and stuff like that. But just before you get into that, Marky, our sponsor for the Monday night shows here all through the season and everything, Hogan Elite Trophy here. Marky, tell them where to go.
Yeah, as you can see all the pictures there, but it's funny, on Friday evening on the Facebook page I got a message off this lad looking for the trophies for christening, and I gave him the prices and this, that and the other, and he goes, I just kind of run it by herself because I haven't even said it to her yet. So he wants the trophies at a christening for their son, but he hasn't even said it to the missus. I was like, I don't think that's going to be into the book, like, you know, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, we've the Letterkenny coming up, and obviously Longford went well. I don't know if you've seen it today, Brown, or Longford put up a load of pictures on the Facebook page again of the trophies and stuff like that. So I think they put up about 80 pictures.
No, I didn't see that. I seen ones last week, all right.
Yeah.
It was very good. But I didn't see any today. In fairness, I didn't look, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. No, I was just saying it came up, and yeah, it was good, great crack. So, but yeah, just hit us up on all the socials for all your trophy needs.
Brilliant. Make sure you check that out and give Mark a follow as well. These trophies are always present as well at these Legends matches and stuff like that. So make sure showing Mark and Tony your full support on that as well. Now, let's start. Tony, update us. Legends 11. Let's talk. Let's Letterkenny. No better place to start. There's all your info on the screen. Everything from if you want to play, gala dinner, attend a match, meet and greet. And I have to say, Tony, I looked at the meet and greet there. €25 for the meet and greet. That is an absolute steal. As Mark will let you know, I go to lots of meet and greets for the wrestling and for football and stuff like that. €25 wouldn't get you a ticket even in the door. Not even in the door.
Yeah, well, that's in fairness, Letterkenny, Steve McConnell up there. I met Stephen last year. Stephen's been to a couple of our events over the years, and he always wanted to do an event in Letterkenny. He is the manager of Letterkenny. He just won Manager of the Year. He's only a young guy, Stephen. Stephen, a lot of people recognise Stephen. He plays the guard in Mrs. Brown's Boys. So, good bloke, a great bloke, great footballing bloke. And I literally got off the phone with him there about half an hour ago, and the amount of work that he's putting in and the Letterkenny crew up there, I think they're nearly sold out. The only thing they have left is a few dinner tickets. They're £75. But as you said there, Niall, the meet and greet, £25. And that's, in fairness, I do say to every time you do an event, I would say to the charity or the club, whoever's doing the event, to try and, okay, you want to make money and fundraise and all that, but try and make it affordable for people to go to the match, because it is nostalgia as well. Like, you're getting to meet all the legends for £25. If you look at some of the events coming up in Dublin, or that have gone, like, you're looking at £200 for a ticket to maybe to see Solskjaer. Is it £200 or £180?
200. Yeah, and I remember, Browner, at the Longford dinner, it came up around the table. I mentioned it to you. Cantona, €400 in the Helix. Like,
yeah, I mean, mental. I just
think, and probably sold out. Out.
I remember this is was going on a couple of years ago. A guy gave out to me over charging £25 to see Paul Scholes. I brought skulls in. There's a bit of hullabaloo at the time, but he came in and it was 25 quid a ticket, and people are giving out, and now they're paying what was a couple of £100 to see him. So look, and it will be sold out as well. You know what I mean? But you just try to make them affordable for people, a day out for people. There is a lot of nostalgia attached to these. A lot of the younger kids wouldn't know some of the players. My young lad asked Brian Robson, was he any good? You know, I had to tell Robert that he's special needs. I said, don't mind him, he's special needs. You know what I mean? And I still remind, he's 21 now, my young lad, I still remind him, sure up that. You know what I mean? But a lot of the young kids wouldn't remember some of the players now. But it's good to be a sellout. We have a good crowd at a couple of thousand, and the meet and greet I think is nearly gone as well. Stephen was telling me. So yeah, it's looking good for Letterkenny.
It's brilliant, isn't it? And like the meet and greet events, there's like you see at the one in Longford, there was a granddad, his son, and then the daughter, the granddaughter there getting taken signed and getting pictures and stuff like that. It's unreal, and it's ran so well, and they have time for everyone to sign things, pictures, and you name it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony, when I go to the States, Tony, I go to an event called WrestleCon, and it'd be all the old wrestlers you'd remember from the 80s and the 90s and all, plus some new ones. It's $50 just to get into the event, and then it's a minimum of $50 per wrestler for autograph and photo. And the photo's on your own phone. It's not a professional photo or anything.
Wow.
So I know lads who've gone to me on trips over there to WrestleMania and all. You could blow $1,000 that day, no problem, without even thinking about it.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I look at this €25 and you're getting to see the likes of Yap Stam and all these guys you bring over. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal value.
I remember Yap when he came over. Yap done his first game for us in Belfast, and he was a bit apprehensive because he said usually when you go to Old Trafford, you get picked up at the airport and you go to the ground and you play a game. You might go for a meal, whatever, and it's just bang, bang, bang. He says, over here, I said, Yap, this is totally relaxed. You're going to have kids being thrown on your lap to get a photograph. And he did. He threw babies thrown on his lap. You know what I mean? And he was just so relaxed. And I was a bit nervous, if I'm being honest, about him coming back. But he's come back. This is his third or fourth time. He's come back with his wife, come back with his kids. He loves it. You know, it's just so relaxed. And that's what we try to bring to these events is it's not the football matches. You've seen yourself, Mark. You've played in the game, Mark. It's not 100 miles an hour. There's no tackles really. It's a bit of fun, and you get every decision and every penalty and all the usual. You know yourself. But
look who scored the third goal in Longford, Browner. Simon.
I'm training with him in the morning, and I have to listen to him. Jeez.
Browner. The funniest thing was I walked back out onto the pitch. And he was over at the side of the pitch signing a young lad shirt and all. I was like, Jesus Christ.
You know, Keith Gillespie, there was a free kick come up and Keith Gillespie run over to Simon. He goes, see you, donkey feet. Get away from the ball. Stephen Hawking is a better football player than Simon. Brutal.
And he scored the equalising goal. Oh, it was brilliant. Sure, I remember, was it your column near the end? There was about 13 United players on the pitch at the end.
There's always 13 or 14. So I told Simon's missus that when he scored the goal, he took the top off and he slid down in front of his granddad or his uncle, was it?
His granddad, yeah.
No, Simon, how humble he is. No, he did. Great crack. Good fun. It's a good day out.
Well, it was brilliant, man. Brilliant. It was.
That's kind of the way that those days go, isn't it, Tony? Like you can have all sorts of levels, all sorts of fun, and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really good, and I love watching the little short videos they do promoting them as well. Yeah. And some of them are kind of there. Sure, I'll be there. Come along, have a great time. And then Yap Stam comes on and he goes, "I'll be here at this date and this date." Yeah. And it's nearly military style, and it's nearly like, don't you dare try and go by me on with a ball or something like that. You know, that kind of thing. Like, really cool.
He's so shy. Even when he done the video for us, I mean, I didn't think he was going to do it, if I'm being honest. And then he just sends over 2 videos. And I was like, that's fair play to you. And then you see Chucky sent over a video. Carl Poborski sent over. You know what I mean? Just a bit of crack. I'll tell you who's good crack. And I kind of had me me doubts about him because he was such a quiet fella. Jemba turned out to be a bit of a nut job.
He is mad. He's mad. He's
he
great crack.
He flew from Washington to Paris to Dublin all on the one day to make the Longford game.
Jesus Christ, man.
Right?
That's
I
incredible.
was just like, because I kept saying, Eric, now box to box. No. I'm playing back. You're not moving. You know.
Yeah, he kept dropping into centre half, didn't he?
He was knackered. He was absolutely.
He probably meant from the 6-yard box to the 18-yard box. Is that what he was talking about?
Yeah.
Sure, all he kept saying on the bus on the way back is he wanted his Guinness. Where's my Guinness? I want my Guinness. That's what he kept saying. He's great crack though.
Well, he obviously,
Great
Tony,
crack.
obviously hit up the lads, and the lads have told him how well they're looked after and the crack they have and all. So they're all jumping on it now by the sounds of things, you know.
Yeah, well, that's fairness. Probably Wes Brown started that. We went to the States a couple of years ago, and then Wes, even now, Wes will say to me, "Are we doing another trip?" That was a great trip, and it was a great trip. Now the Yanks know how to do it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they don't. Not here, they don't. They do. But over in America, we just arrived. It was just unbelievable from the first minute to the last minute. It was brilliant crack. You know what I mean? And the lads are out to get another trip going. So it's in the pipeline, but we'll see what happens. There's a lot of work to be done, you know.
Yeah, I'd say the lads to be living for it and stuff like that, you know, just to get the band back together and everything, and having the crack and all, and just, you know what I mean. And
Frank
there's
has
no
been
pressure
over for a lot of them, hasn't he? Like, and I was standing there at the bar having a pint with him in the hotel after. He's just, he's some man to talk to, like, you know. He was telling me some stories about the FAI, but I had to laugh. We were chatting away, and this young lad comes over, probably in his 20s. Sorry, are you Frank Stapleton? Did you used to play for Ireland? I was standing there. I said to Frank, you should have said that you still do, like, you know.
Yeah.
But, it was
good.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know what? And you probably seen the Longford game. What struck me was the amount of people that come up to Frank at the dinner and at the meet and greet, right? And did nothing but kind words, right? I was talking to two women who travelled from somewhere, and they only wanted to see Jemba. And I was going, what? Oh, I loved him as a player. And I'm going, so it's a mixed bag, isn't it? I mean, some people like this and some people like that. So it's good crack. It's good fun, and they're well received, the lads. And they do
100%.
And it's so laid back, and it's a bit of fun and whatever. And like all the events are always sold out, in fairness.
Great crowd along for them. Fair play. Mike Phelan stayed on the pitch for about 40 minutes after the game, taking pictures and signing autographs and stuff like that. It was fantastic to see. And Neil Webb was there signing autographs and stuff as well, you know.
Well, you have to, if you look at any of them players, I do get a bit of sick sometimes from people. Browner, he's crap and he done this and he done that. I said, lads, not only have they worn the Man United jersey, they've won trophies with Man United. They played under Ferguson. They played under Ron Atkinson. I mean, even when you're talking to Stapleton and you're talking to Wes Brown, or I'm always talking to Chucky, the stories you hear, and you're just going, oh my God, you know, you just forget what some of these guys, the memories they'd have, and they play that. And we probably don't get much better half the time, but Jesus, it's unbelievable what they've achieved.
Yeah, now Neil Webb was telling me a few stories, like, and to think he played under Brian Clough and then he went to United. And he's playing under Sir Alex. Yeah. But he was telling me that.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Brown, real quick. He was telling me the story about he got called up to Sir Alex's hotel room the morning of the Cup Winners' Cup final in '91. He played every single game in the lead up, and he was expecting to start against Barcelona. And Fergie brought him up and said he was dropping him and replacing him with Mike Phelan. And he went mad. And he was saying then, to cheer himself up, he's a massive Pavarotti fan. He booked to see Pavarotti in Manchester. And they'd organised a trophy parade that day. And he said, I'm not going. So he went on the trophy parade reluctantly, and he sat downstairs. He didn't want to go up because of the whole thing, and then Bobby Charlton had a word with him to tell him to go upstairs, and he went up there, and, you know, but it's just mad when you're standing there chatting to the man that went through this, like, you know.
Yeah, I remember Neil a couple of years ago. You might have been at the Rosemount game.
Yes, yeah.
And so we had Brian Robson, Ray Wilkins, and Neil Webb on the pitch, 3 ex-England captains. You know what I mean? And I couldn't remember that. As my young lad, my oldest fella said it to me, he said, you 3 ex-English captains on Tex pitch. I went, you know, and Ray Wilkins was I mean, like, poor old Ray. Ray was brilliant, and Robson was a god to me. You know what I mean? He's up there with Freddie Mercury and Bernie Nolan in my book. You know.
Go on, the Nolan sisters.
Oh, poor old Bernie. You know, but brilliant. Oh, look at, as I said, the Letterkenny. Looking forward to it. They've just been unbelievable. Letterkenny. What's the hotel up there? I think the meals in the Mount Errigal.
Yeah, that night, isn't it? It's in the, and then the station house is the meet and greet or something like that. I think the station house hotel or whatever.
Yeah, it's a proper hub of football. Like Letterkenny is probably one of the biggest clubs up there. They've won everything this year. They got promoted. They won the double. Stephen's a good guy, a real football fella. Do you know what I mean? He was at the Longford. He was at the Longford. He came down as my guest, and he was just blown away. Because when you tell someone about the game, and then when they go to the actual game, the event, and they see it in real life, they go, now I get it. Because when you're explaining things to people, they go, oh, yeah, okay. But when they're there and they see it physically and how it works, they go, right, now I know what to do.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, and as you said, Tony, on the last show, you build as each event goes along. Each event has a little improvement on the last one and all that kind of stuff. So it's cool to experience it beforehand if you're running an event as well, I'd imagine.
Well, do you know what? It's just fine-tuning, Niall. When I done my first event 100 years ago, I didn't have, I mean, I was on my own and no help. But now when I meet all the clubs and we give them advice, it's up to them whether they take it or not. Some people might tweak it their own way. Look what they've done in Galway and Athenry. Athenry is probably one of the best events I think we've ever done. They had so many walls to climb. They changed the date. They changed the dinner to a Friday. It worked. It sold. There was a massive crowd there. Everything was sold out. They could have sold a lot more tickets. It was just ridiculous, you know. Yeah, that was a real community feel to that.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're a GA man or a rugby man or a tennis person, athletics, they just all got behind the club and the community and just promoted their community and everything else. And we've been invited back down again. The hotel want to do another gig with us next year.
Brilliant.
You know, so that's good when you get that type back, you know.
You can't say fairer than that.
Absolutely. Just let everyone know, 59 minutes gone, still 0-0, Portugal and Slovenia. End-to-end stuff at the moment, but certainly very interesting. Tony, go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just going to say, Browner, even like at the Longford game, went up to get changed, and I was walking down the stairs with Mike Phelan, and just to see everyone in their suits and all the women dressed up and all, it's a big occasion, you know, big night for them all, and it was great to see some of the old lads with the Longford black and red ties and stuff like that, you know.
Well, see, in fairness to Longford, the Caroline up there, the club was 100 years old, and that this was a celebration, and they brought all the ex-players back and whatever. And it's great because Longford is kind of, people forget what Longford have achieved as well in League of Ireland, like back-to-back cup wins, and it's some great players play for the club. And probably they've gone up and down and whatever. But that day, there was a fantastic turnout for them. And it was a lot of nostalgia for them as well with their old players coming back. Like you've seen that, Mark, when the United players were called into the room and they all got the round of applause. But when the Longford players came into the room that night, so the roof was taken off.
Yeah, erupted. The place erupted.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah.
So it was brilliant to see that and recognition of the club and by the public down there.
Yeah.
You know, and fantastic setup. I played in that pitch years ago at Wayside, and it was nothing like that, I tell you.
Yeah.
They've done a fantastic job. And the best wishes to them because they're a hard-working crew down there. In fairness to them, they're brilliant. You know,
that's what I was saying when I came back onto the show after. The volunteers down there were A1, like everyone was involved, and Caroline was all over the place and stuff like that. And it was a great day, and it was great to see the crowd they got down there as well. And the majority of them, obviously, when Longford scored, the majority of the home crowd just absolutely went wild, like, you know, and to hear the stories in the hotel after then, you know, from the lads from back in the day, it was great, you know.
Yeah. I just, fairness to Caroline, a woman travelled down from Antrim. She'd rang me with her son. He had a terminal illness, and she asked me, could he come down to do mascot? And I said, bring him down. He was in the dressing room. He was on the bus with the players. I mean, his jaw was just on the ground, and his mother was getting emotional. And I said, come on, we bring him out onto the pitch. and he was playing with the lads passing the ball around. Do you know what I mean? And
You were having a kick about with him as well,
yeah,
Browner, weren't you? Saying that. Yeah, I remember that.
And he thought he was on Wembley. He said, "Oh, this is great, isn't it?" And we said, "Good there, mascot and everything else." And the mother now still rings me. She goes, "Look, you've no idea what you've done for the child and for myself." I said, "But that's what we try to do. We can help someone. I give them a bunt up or a leg up. That's what we try and do."
Yeah.
I mean, of course you want to make money for the charities or the club or whatever, but you want to give memories to people. You want people to come back to you and say, "Look, I was at your event 2 years ago. That was brilliant. How do you do that?" And that's what happens. It's word of mouth as well. People ring you, or I was at your event or I heard from someone. What can you do? Like next year, I'm already talking to maybe 4 clubs already next year.
Brilliant. Jeez,
you know what I mean?
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, no, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, we've a lead. Hopefully next year we've a Leeds United game. I'm working on that as a fundraiser for an ex-manager of mine. God love him. He's going through the mill. So we got all the lads together. So that's in negotiation at the moment. And that's looking at next May, hopefully. Leeds have a massive fan base here. I think I might have said it before. But in my head, that's sold out. You know what I mean? Because the amount of people that have rang me, I believe you're getting Leeds over. So we were looking at it and they said, "Look, that's gone. That'd be sold out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Leeds is huge. Leeds is huge.
Oh, a lot of guys probably my age, a bit older maybe, that have probably followed Leeds from the 70s or 80s maybe, and then won the league in 92, and always been up and down. To massive support.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, my old man back in the day, Tony, he followed Leeds, and the reason he followed Leeds was he played for Ormond Celtic with John Giles, and Giles' dad was his manager. And when Giles he went over to play in the UK and stuff like that, and in England and all, he followed Giles. He was going to go over himself, but he got a bad injury and he couldn't go. He was supposed to go over to Everton for trials, never happened. But wherever Giles he went, that's kind of where he followed, because he was he loved Giles and he loved his Elfla. His Elfla was a tough man. He was a nutcase.
Yeah,
Giles' dad.
The stories.
Mad stories and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's Leeds is huge here. You're never too far away from a Leeds fan when you're in Ireland. That's for sure.
They've a base in the Camden, I was told, and then they've other supporters clubs around Ireland, which are a massive fan base.
Yeah, and I think in the Camden, if you wear the Leeds jersey in for a match, I think the points are only a £5 or something like that. They have a special rate for the Leeds fans and stuff in there, from what I'm told as well. So
yeah, that's brilliant though, isn't it?
If you would picking up a jersey in the sale, would it?
I wouldn't put a Leeds jersey in, that's going too far.
You'd do one for
a €10
for a point. You'd do one for a £5 point, you would.
Well, I'd pay a tenner. I wouldn't wear a Leeds jersey, I tell you that.
Big up, Coyle. Thanks for joining us tonight, mate. Love it. Thanks for dropping in. Right, let's talk. Tony, go on, yeah.
No, years ago, Colin, we had a Liverpool match, alleged, and the lads are getting picked, in the room and the dressing room, and he goes, "Browner, here, you wear that. Will you go left full?" I looked at him. Now, Aldo's there, Alan Kennedy's there, McAtee, the whole lot of them are there, Ian Rush. There's no way I'm putting that jersey on me. I'm Man United. There's no way. They were like, "It's only a friendly, lads." I'm not doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it. All my kids United fans, my father, I'll be killed. I'd be found wrapped in barbed wire. No, it wouldn't happen. I'd be killed.
The lads had you sitting on your own then at the gala dinner that night, did they? You weren't sitting with them or nothing. Oh, I can imagine.
You know what Willie Simpson is like, Mark?
Yeah, big time.
Saying, "You're dead to me, Browner." I know myself.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Right. Let's talk a little bit. We're talking about legends, and a lot of these guys obviously are internationals as well and stuff like that. So we have the Euros on at the moment. Tony, what have you made of the Euros, and how do you feel about international football in general at the moment? What's your thoughts on it?
The game has changed, lads, from when we were playing or when I was playing. I'm looking at even some of these lads, they only get touched, and they're down rolling. You know what I mean? A big thing for me at the moment is the VAR is doing my absolute head in. I'm watching the match here tonight with my missus, watching the Denmark game and the goal, and then they got the penalty, and I said, "Knock it off. I'm not watching. I couldn't. I just thought Denmark were robbed. And
big time.
You know, the small margins and all that in football, but just ruins the game for me. Waiting, you know, they score the goal and then the emotion, and then you're waiting to see if it's a goal or not.
Yeah.
Like, I just think
Takes
that
it over.
emotion away from the fans. I was in Old Trafford a couple of times last year, and I left at half time one of the games, so I just had enough. You know what I mean? I couldn't do my head in. And lads,
they've ripped the joy out, haven't they, by putting in so much science? Really, you know what I mean? The technology has gone overboard, I think, at this stage. You know.
I know what it is, Niall, but my father have chats about this. Football was probably a working class game, and it was the escapism for people back in the day. End of the week, you're working, go to a match, and you're screaming and shouting, whatever. People loved the honesty and all that. Whatever happened, you shook your hands at the end of it. This has just gone a different level. And I do hear Keane giving out about lads hugging each other. Now, Mark, I've always paid for way short of body back in the day, and I went down to Rosemount. Do you think any of them lads are going to hug me? In the warm-up, they'd be butchering you. And you'd be getting a Ivor Masterson. So,
Jesus. Good old Ivor.
Kill each other during the game, and then you go there afterwards. But this is all, as it's all changed, the high tech, the science.
Yeah.
You can't push the players. It's probably becoming less of a physical game where I always thought tackling was an art. You know, any point when you say now, oh, geez, that was a great tackle. You can't. I can't see. I haven't seen any great tackles really in the tournament. It just does me head in, to be honest with you.
They're all bleeding brands. And could you imagine you and Rose and Philly Gray throwing a water bottle at you or something like that, you know?
Yeah, no, it's
mad.
Do you know what it is, Tony? I think what it was, we're probably old enough to know that, like, we were spoiled with 88 and 90, weren't we, in 94? And the walking sound roundabout and the cars going around with the kids swinging out of them. And it was such a special time for international football. And now we look at it. I'm even looking at it there. Like, you look at it the other day. I was talking to Mark on the show. 3 lads who went to a Dutch game. And we know the Dutch are so passionate about their football and their fan base. The 3 boys dressed up as Ruud Hullet, because Ruud Hullet was their hero. And they were getting all this stick about this blackface stuff and all this kind of stuff. And I was there going, we really have lost the meaning of what it's to the enjoyment of football and what it's about and stuff like that and all. And even Ruud Hullet came out and said, I was absolutely stoked that they did it. And Nate Nake came out and said, the world's really gone mad if people find a problem in that and all. It was crazy, like, and you're just there going,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you have this cohort of people now that are just waiting to go in on you on something and find something. You know what I mean? Because they're not happy unless they're absolutely grilling you and stuff like that. It's crazy, you know what I mean?
Generation. It's a joke.
Look, fella, right? You even look at the English. Now, I actually fancied England from the outset, right? Because you're thinking of all that talent that he has at his disposal. So surely you can make them click. Now, they do look heavy and they do look tired, but they're qualified, they're unbeaten, they won their group. If that was Ireland, right, this country would be just on the beer, right? But because it's England and they're under so much pressure from the media and the fans and the pundits especially seem to be getting their folk in. I mean, they're qualified. England, I would not be surprised if they won it. I just wouldn't, because I remember Portugal a couple of years ago, similar thing, and then they won it. They looked tired and they kind of slowly got through over the hurdles. England are doing the same. You know, 2 goals in the last couple of minutes. You can't write them off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You were sitting there last night going, they'll score and then they'll go on to win it, and it's exactly what happened. Like, they just have something extra. Like, they haven't been great at all, but there's just something there. Like, I think they'll have a tougher game against Switzerland down in the next round, won't they?
Yeah, Switzerland are a good side. They're steady and they're tough and organised, and they can play a bit of ball, and there's a bit of violence in the tackles as well.
Yeah.
So, but they play as a team as well, don't they, Tony? They're a team. Whereas you look at this England team at the moment, it's like you got a collection of Panini stickers and you put it on the pitch. You know what I mean? Of superstars. They don't have that team. I was even looking last night when the final whistle went. You've got Trent and Joe Gomez and another player just standing there, and everyone's jumping around celebrating. And I'm thinking, Look at what you just did. And you hear Declan Rice having a go off the manager, Bellingham going around cupping his balls and all this kind of thing. And I'm thinking, you're just after turning over the team. I don't even think the country existed in '66 when you won the World Cup. What are you talking about here? It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And it's just
it's wrong.
crazy.
Do you know what? When I was playing, it was always the team. It was always the lads helping each other. It was never about egos. And they're the teams I used to hate playing against. They could be less skillful and everything else, but if you have a team that's fit and are working together, they're probably the hardest team to play against. You know, we have a team like England full of individuals. I watched Bellingham, he's a big unit of a kid, and I watched him last night. Your man didn't even touch him and he rolled around. I was like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? I grew up watching the Robsons and the Wilkins and the Jimmy Cases and the Steve McMahons and even Lampard, Scholes, John Terry. Them lads hit you, but they expected to be hit back. And they never really, you never seen them getting up going, you know, give them a card. They just get on with it.
Exactly, yeah.
But, I mean, card and this and that and the other, you're going, oh, jeez.
Did you see the footage, Mark, last night from the ITV studio, was it? Neville
Keane.
And Ian Wright were jumping around celebrating.
He's
Keane
just there
just
like that
folds his
with
arms and just walks off into a dark corner. I'd say he had that gun loaded big time. I'd say he had everything in his mind prepared and he was going to unload there big time. But I said in a tweet today, I retweeted it today and I said, don't worry, just hold on to it. You will get your chance. It's
at some stage.
It was absolutely mad.
I say Keane was in the Jacks in the studio with the whip. You know the whip like your man.
I'd say so.
Some boyo, isn't he? Some boyo.
Yeah. I'd say he had a Buddha in the corner. He was rubbing the head of it and everything and all. Anything to get through and all. I'd say just to get through that last few things. But yeah.
Who do you think will who's looking good?
I fancy Portugal. And it's not because they're looking good. I think they have a squad and they have so many options. I think they're built for a tournament like this, you know, that kind of way.
They've great strength and depth. I'd have your man. I know he's on now, Jota. I've watched him every time he comes on for Liverpool, he plays for Liverpool, he's lethal.
Yeah.
You know,
just can't keep him fit.
I had this conversation with Niall. I'd have him in there all day long.
Just can't keep him fit.
Jota, he's a good player, isn't he?
Is it true what they were saying about him though? Ronaldo doesn't get on with Jota or something like that.
Yeah, they've had their moments, all right.
I don't know. I wouldn't say Ronaldo gets on with many people because he's so he's brilliant and he probably is one of the best players, but he is just self-obsessed, isn't he?
Oh,
I don't
100%.
think he plays for the team.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean?
He's all about himself, the brand of CR7, like, you know.
But now at the start, for Spain. What do you think of Spain, lads? Spain?
Yeah, they've done all right, yeah. I fancy them now, kind of, but at the start, remember I said to you on this, my underdogs, if you could call them, that would have been Holland coming into it.
Yeah, I was expecting Georgia to give them a bit more of a kicking, and I thought because they're quite a young team, they mightn't fancy it. But the more Georgia kind of kicked them, the more they got into the game. So it backfired on me. That was my thinking. So it didn't work.
Spanish now have a bit of steel about them. I think from what I was reading, they were getting a bit of grief as well off their own media at home, and it probably bonded them a bit more. There is a bit of steel about the Spanish lads. In fairness, you know, they might surprise a few people. The Dutch always had a glass jaw. They were always built for development instead of winning, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I think the Dutch.
The midfield is the problem, isn't it? They lost their key midfielders. So they've no midfield for the tournament, really, you know.
No, you could just play through them, couldn't you? Really, if you wanted to.
Yeah. The losing the likes of Frankie de Jong and stuff like that is huge, you know. They can't afford to be losing those players, really, you know.
At this stage, I think it's the winner of Friday night's game will probably go on and win the whole thing.
Yeah, I was looking at an article there about Georgia. I don't know if you've read it, about this billionaire from Georgia. And he awarded the team $10 million to share in a bonus because they reached around the 16. And he was offering them another $10 million if they could get through last night against Spain as well as a
Jesus.
bonus. Now that's massive for those players because although they have a sprinkling of stars, your man Kvaratskhelia off Napoli and stuff like that, but outside of that, like, you know what I mean? It's like that's massive money to those guys, you know.
Someone said to
Yeah,
Big
absolutely.
time, yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
wow, unbelievable.
Aces are saying Spain versus Germany on Friday night hopefully will be a decent game. It certainly will be a decent game. You look at England as well. How easy are England having it to get to the final as well? Like the draw just sets up for them as well. Holland versus England semi-final. That'll be interesting.
It's tailor made for them. But see, you can't be too cocky because I always remember when they got Italy and they were saying, "Oh, sure, Italy are too old and this, that, and the other." Them Italians are foxes, lads. They're cute. They've been around. It's in their DNA. You know what I mean? They're cute. And they know he's never. What was his name? Grabbing sack was it by the neck, the jersey.
Oh, Chiellini, was it? Or yeah.
Oh, where?
Remember, boy, yeah.
Yeah,
Jesus.
absolutely.
Sorry, you know what I mean? But
That's unreal. They know exactly. Take a yellow card for the team and away you go. Saka was going around them, straight on the goal.
Yeah, still 78 minutes gone, 0-0 still, Portugal and Slovenia, folks. I found this today, lads. Give me your thoughts on this. This is the prize money for the Euros. And I was looking at it. I don't know if you can see it there close enough now, but I was thinking, if you look at some of these bigger international teams, the likes of, say, France, Germany, England and all, it's probably costing them more to compete in it than what they end up winning. Like, I was flabbergasted at this, that the winners receive an extra payment of €8 million. And I'm thinking €8 million. Like, they could spend 8 million just on security or something like that. You know what I mean? This is crazy. Like, you can see UEFA pocketing the wedge there big time, you know. This gave me, when I read out what teams win here for these different stages and all, I was thinking, this gave me Carabao Cup fields nearly, you know what I mean? This is crazy. This is the Euro. This is the Euros, like.
Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, the English FA will be paying each player X amount of money per game, as far as I know. Or, you know, there's obviously an agreement prior to the tournament. But then again, you're looking at some of them players, like I look at Grealish there during the week, and I think he's training with Juve at the moment. And then you look at Harry Maguire. I mean, if that was me, fellas, right, and you're actually being dropped for a tournament, would you go back and play for the team if asked? You know what I mean? I think personally my nose would be out of joint. I go, well, hold on, lads. I wasn't good enough to go to the Euros, whatever.
Yeah.
And I played all the matches up to that. They must be hurting. Whether Grealish, who was the other? Grealish, where was it? Mount? Was it Mount?
Yeah.
Mount was there. Yeah, Rashford as well, and unless they come, obviously they're probably being new manager come September, and when the qualifying comes around again,
change of managers. Yeah.
He looks very one-dimensional, Southgate. You know.
Oh, definitely.
Sometimes the substitutions at the right time can win games, and you're going like this. Like, we can see it. He needs to put so and so on, or he needs to have something else. He needs to have a plan B, or maybe, you know, push on or do this. He doesn't, though.
Yeah,
and it just makes, I don't know.
And you look at the Palmer didn't get a minute in the first two games. Like, you're looking at it going, how the hell? And
did you see Ivan Toney gave him socks on the sideline, bringing him on? Did you see that story? Yeah, absolutely. No. He was bringing on Ivan Toney there. Remember, with 2 minutes to go yesterday, Ivan Toney on the sideline was giving Southgate dog's abuse over it. Absolutely hounded him. And afterwards, they made up over it because obviously it went to extra time, and then he got the extra 30 minutes or whatever it is. But he was absolutely fuming on the sideline coming on for 2 minutes.
And he put himself about, though, didn't he?
Certainly did.
He probably had a bet to score, so you know yourself.
Yeah, right. Imagine
Brown. It was the score or assist. He got the assist.
Yeah. Oh, lads. And to think Southgate was linked with us at one stage.
No, he couldn't. International managers totally different than club managers. I don't know. I don't really see anything about Southgate, to be honest with you. And I just doesn't do anything for me. I just think any man with that pool of players and do well. Or maybe I'm wrong. It's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
They have the talent. There's no doubt about it. It's probably just trying to
Yeah.
unite them as a team to play for you as a manager to get them going. But they definitely have the quality there to be doing
Oh,
better than they are doing. Like,
I should.
He doesn't give you the feel, Tony, does he, of a guy that you'd run through a wall for?
Yeah. See,
You
that's
nearly
that.
run through a wall to get away from him, nearly, you know, that kind of way.
yeah,
But you think about. I always remember even listening to people that play for Brian, for example. They said I'd run through a wall for Brian Clough, but don't ask me to go out for a drink with him. So there's a big
yeah,
difference. Where Southgate, for me, there probably isn't that. A lot of lads are probably doing stuff for themselves and they're promoting themselves. He doesn't do anything for me.
Mm.
If that was me being an England manager, I'd just say, lads, go out. Yeah, of course you're going to have a coaching style or whatever. But if they score, we'll score. It doesn't matter. We have the players. Like, they have a serious squad. They probably one of
yeah,
the best squads in the world, and they underachieve every time. And I'm going back even from when you look at 1990 in the World Cup, England, 94 they didn't qualify. Like, there's some teams over the years. Shearer, the 96, what was it? The Euros. They should have won that.
yeah.
There it
Without a
is.
doubt. It was him that missed the penalty.
Yeah, and it was who was the manager? Venables, I think, was the manager at the
Terry
time.
Venables, yeah, Terry.
All
It was
tanned up with the white shirt.
Oliver Bierhoff scored for Germany, didn't he, in that game? Was it Bierhoff? Oliver Bierhoff, I think it was, yeah.
I think it was, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no, it's just international football. It's just at times it's just so strange. It's very unusual to me. Especially when
Would
you're
you go
trying.
to any of the Irish games here, lads? Would you go to any of the Irish games here?
The
Do you know,
international ones?
I used to, and I
Mm.
used to go and stuff like that. But I found with everything that's gone on in the FAI and everything that's there, and you look at it now, like, I mean, we can't even. It's no disrespect to John O'Shea at all. What a servant he's been and stuff like that, and a fabulous player. But like, we can't even track in any sort of. We're not offering. We're paying for the last 20 years of partying, and we're paying the price of that now, because the funds aren't there. Can't attract in the right caliber. You know, there's certainly a set of players there with a certain amount of talent there that coach properly at a certain level. Okay for us, but I just think the whole thing is just a mess. And it's
I was
very,
looking
very
at the price in there. The tickets come out during the week. Kenny Simpson sent me a link, and the price for the tickets. I was going, oh my god, for
Brown,
3
it's
games.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And they're trying to catch you now. If there's 2 friendlies in a row, you can only buy the double
the
ticket
pair,
for the 2 friendlies.
the boy, the
And
pair,
like,
yeah.
you've got families that live down the country that will be able to come up for one. But to be able to come up on a Wednesday evening or whatever, you know, Saturday afternoon to come up and stay or whatever. But they're trying to really end that way. I'd always say for the Irish friendlies, it should be €20 for a ticket for an adult, tenner for a kid, and you'd sell out the Aviva. And it looks better, you know, on the telly. And
atmosphere, yeah.
exactly, for young lads making their debuts. Look, I remember going down to the old Lansdowne, myself, Gar Daly, and my dad and all. My dad sneaked me under the turnstiles. It'd be a Wednesday on at 2:00, and I'd have a dentist appointment or a doctor, or a Friday afternoon at 2:00. And
Drag down school, yeah.
exactly. And you'd go down, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. And the Fife blow up bananas and the South Terrace and all. And like, it's just totally changed. And when you're right, like, I think the FAI are doing it so wrong for the friendlies and stuff like that. You pack out the Aviva if you did it that way. And like I said, it creates an atmosphere. And for these lads that are making their debut, imagine a lad making his debut for Ireland. There's only 15,000 there or something.
Yeah, no, it's mad. I remember back in the day as well. Actually, when I was going to the matches, Benilda's actually used to sort the tickets, and we used to get the half day to go to them and stuff like that. And I don't know how many times I ended up back in that lake in the middle of UCD on one of those bananas after a game, and there'd be hundreds of us. Security be going mental. It was crazy times, but we had such a great time. And it was
brilliant, man.
It was just wonderful. And it's, the old Lansdowne as well was brilliant as well. It had that cauldron of an atmosphere as well and all. And now now they're doing you every way. They're doing you on the tickets, they're doing you on the merch, they're doing you on the food. Like, it's not just the money you're spending on the tickets. You're spending at least the same when you go there on beers and food and everything else and all. It's absolutely crazy,
So they used to. Do you remember they used to stop the dart at that certain point, and people on the dart be able to look in and see the match going on and stuff
That's
like
right,
that.
yeah.
It used to be unreal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But my uncle Tommy used to be the station master down in Lansdowne Road, and anytime they were training down there for a big game, he'd bring us in to watch them train and stuff. It was brilliant, like.
Brilliant. Excellent. Let's switch it up. Quick chat about Man United and a few other bits, and then we can head off. Dan Ashworth,
Browner,
lads.
you can lead this one.
Come in here, Tony. Dan Ashworth coming in. You got your man today. Matthias De Ligt apparently coming in, who Bayern Munich want to unload, and consider his partner now, Tony, for the season was Eric Dyer from Spurs. And De Ligt is the one they're unloading to Man United. So just for context there, what have you made, lads, of the layers that they're putting in here? Ruud van Nistelrooy about to go in, the manager Hake or whatever it is from Go Eagles as well. They're putting in Barad has gone in from Man City as well. He starts today as well.
Today officially,
they're putting in an awful lot of layers here. Are the Chiefs circling the wagons here, or what's going on with Ten Hag? Tony, you're on mute there.
I did.
Volume lowered down or something.
Yeah, now I'm glad the Ashworth situation obviously was sorted out today and stuff like that, because I had said previous on this, we have to sort out everything from above before we can get down to the team. So you're talking, up in the the boardroom down to the management. But I think it's a good. You see this, it's only going to strengthen. We talked about Van Nistelrooy turning down the Burnley job to come be an assistant coach, and Go Eagles manager coming as well, and. Obviously Eric wanted this to happen and stuff, but I read like Dan Ashworth, I think is such a coup, and it's just only going to strengthen the club, and that's why I think there hasn't been much players linked with us. We need to sort out the board and everyone above till we got down there. So I think now all the lads are on board. I think the signings are going to start coming in, and it can only be a good thing. Obviously, De Ligt was linked with us about 4 or 5 years ago and stuff, and he's looked solid, and him and there with Martinez and all be unreal. Like,
you think it'd be a good signing, do you? Because he had a horror show at Juve, didn't he? Before he
went
to
Bayern. He did.
You're still trying to find that kind of Ajax De Ligt, aren't you? Really,
yeah, exactly.
It was unbelievable.
Exactly. He was unreal. I think some of the moves has knocked his confidence and stuff like that, and when that happens, you can sort of, I wouldn't say fall out of love with the game, but question yourself as a player. But I think it could be the new lease of life that you need, and like particularly playing against or alongside the likes of Martinez and stuff like that. And yeah, listen, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm glad we got the other thing sorted with Ashworth and stuff like that. So we'll just see how the rest of the summer unfolds.
Tony, how do you feel about these directors of football and all? Like they're nearly being signed now, like players. These technical directors and all.
10 million.
You're still on mute there, Tony. You still can't hear you. You've no you might need to, Tony, what you might need to do, you might need to come out and come back in. Come off the stream and then come back in, and that might sort it.
But I was just seeing Aces kit. I was actually in JD earlier looking at Aces. It's actually nice in person. Now I wouldn't necessarily pay €100 for it in JD.
Darren was saying the keeper jersey is supposed to be beautiful.
The purple one, yeah, seeing it, it's nice. Like, do you know, I was saying to Yvonne earlier on, I can't remember the last time I actually bought a keeper jersey. It's weird seeing an adult in a keeper jersey, isn't it?
I always used to buy Ben the keeper jerseys because obviously he was a goalie, so I always used to get him the keeper jerseys.
No, I have plenty of them from years gone by, but I just think it's weird now as an adult to be wearing a keeper jersey. I don't know, it's just in my head, but I seen it today. It looks nice. Myself, Yvonne, and the kids are actually heading over to Manchester in a few weeks, so we'll get to see it over there in person.
Yeah,
we're gonna bring the girls down to Old Trafford and do the tour and stuff like that as well. So
we got your back, Tony.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony,
Yeah,
I was just asking you there. All these technical directors and directors of football now, and they're nearly hitting transfers like players at this stage.
Yeah, they have a lot of power, don't they?
Mm.
I suppose that's the way the clubs are going, isn't it? Whether it's to take pressure off the manager, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Let's all be honest here. I thought Man City were going to batter us at the FA Cup final. I really did. And I was at a gig, and a mate of mine said, Brown, or 2-0 up. I nearly collapsed because I just didn't think we were going to win that game. I thought Ten Hag was gone. You know what I mean? So, and then they won the cup, and you couldn't really sack him, I suppose, after he's after winning 3 cups in 2 years, whatever. You know what I mean? So let him give him another year. They're definitely getting things in place. I think they might just give him another year, and then I don't know. But then again, who's out there? What manager would you like to come in?
That's the question. That's a $1 million question, isn't it? Like, there's no one really out there that you'd say, right, you'd get him in instead of him, you know?
Yeah. And the manager's shelf life now at a club is, what is it? A couple of years, maybe 2 years. Unless you're winning, you have to be winning, and then you have to be winning with style, you know. So I don't know. I'd hate to be a manager in the Premiership now, because it's just hard. Look at Graham Potter, wasn't it, a couple of years ago? He was the golden boy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then went to Chelsea, and then that was it.
That was
not like a move to Chelsea to ruin you anyway, that's for sure. Yeah. But no, it's a kind of a mad one, isn't it? Because you look at it at the moment. United, if they wanted to do a managerial change, probably would have had to go in and take someone out of a club who's in a job at the moment, because the actual availability of managers was really, really real low level at the time and stuff like that. So maybe they decided, look, we'll go another year, see how this goes. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, maybe the managerial position then might be a little bit easier. There might be someone out there more suited, if they like, because it's just that managerial situation at the moment. There's very little out there. And we're also getting, obviously, a changing of the guard as well, because obviously the managers like Mourinho and Conte and Allegri and managers like that, they're kind of all getting on now. They're moving on, and football is evolving again and stuff like that, you know, and it's just whether they would suit that situation. I know people will come into the chat and say, oh, but you know, Mourinho did great at Roma and he'll do brilliant at Fenerbahce. He will, but taking to say that Man United is different gravy, as he knows from being there before. It's just it's a kind of a change at the moment. These new managers, and of course it's all changing now, because now they're not even looking for managers; they're looking for head coaches, because everyone else is going to be doing the bidding really, and they're really going to be there just to coach really at this stage, you know. So that's going to be an interesting transition, I think, for Ten Hag, when you think about the first 2 years he's kind of had, and you know, where he was in control, and remember he had the veto in his contract where he could veto a signing if he didn't want it. That's all getting taken out now, so it'll be quite an adjustment and very, very interesting. When I seen the likes of Ruud van Nistelrooy and all coming in, I was thinking, they're putting a plan in place there, aren't they? Something's getting planned, you know, and you see Ten Hag going, how great this is going to be and stuff like that, and I said, you're either blind or your acceptance of it. You know what I mean?
But you know what? No, it'll be interesting this year, because you see how many players you have coming back, how many are not. You know, we had a lot of injuries last year, and that was his get out of jail card, I always thought. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this year. They are setting everything in place. They're putting the foundation in. So I suppose they're looking at the club's future that way. And whether he can bring them forward. I think he's a great manager. I've been following his career when he was at Ajax. I know it's a different league, but he does seem to have something about him. It'll be interesting to see what this year brings. I'd rather be a Man United fan this year than a Liverpool fan, because I just like the lads coming in, the Liverpool fans, about the lad there at the getting. You know what I mean? And I said, lads, he's just like on a back to work scheme, taking over the club. The Liverpool fans, just having the crack with them. So Klopp will be missed as well. I like Klopp.
He was great for the league, wasn't
he? He was, and he's a character and everything else. And he was the only one to put it up to City, in my opinion, anyway. No one else did. And he'd be a big loss for Liverpool, and be a big loss for football in general. Because you need characters, don't you? You need
100%.
You definitely need characters in the game, and they're diminishing every year. You know, even the
That's it.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I love watching the snooker, and it's not what like it used to be. You know,
Nah.
back in the 90s and all, you'd some 80s,
The lads
90s,
drunk.
so many characters. Like, yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
just gone too much now. There's no like Ronnie's still there, and Mark Allen to a certain extent is a bit of a character, but the rest of them are just like they're so boring, so drab.
It's like the darts. Remember the darts years ago? You wouldn't see the dart player because it's just a haze of smoke.
Yeah,
And whiskey.
yeah.
Jockey Wilson nearly fell on the
And here,
dart board.
we were saying it about the snooker and the darts. All the competitions were sponsored by like Benson and Hedges and stuff like that. All the lads. Yeah, it's mad. Like,
John Player. So they used to have the John Player and what was it? They had Margaret, Benson and Hedges was the other one. The motor racing. The lads talking about Benson and Hedges, Margaret in the back and whatever, you know.
Wasn't the Jordan team in the Formula One originally sponsored by a cigarette crowd or something like that, or a drink crowd, and they had to change it? Remember the Jordan Eddie? They had to change it to Jordan Team Jordan or something like that back in the day. I remember there was uproar over it.
Yeah. So the alcohol and I suppose the cigarette companies and the alcohol companies pump so much money. I mean, you look at Budweiser, you look at the Heineken Cup now, for example.
Yeah.
So there's always going to be that attachment, isn't it, with alcohol or whatever. The biggest drug in the world, and the sponsor of so many tournaments. You know, I think is an American football, Budweiser as well, and
Budweiser. And who's sponsoring the Premier League this year?
Is it Budweiser?
Guinness
is one of the sponsors. Yeah, absolutely.
There you have.
But God forbid you have a bet. God forbid you have a bet. Now it's not about a drink. Now you're enemy number one if you have a bet now.
We were actually, I've gone back years ago, a company approached me about sponsoring a game, and it was one of the betting companies, and we couldn't do it because I just mentioned it, and we got so much flack. You know what I mean? And I could kind of get it, but I said, look, they're actually giving the money to us for the charity. No, didn't want to. Yeah.
Christ, man.
So there you have it, you know. So they take money off it. A shop owner maybe, but not off a drink company or off
betting company.
A betting company, yeah.
Jesus Christ,
it's mad, isn't it? Mad, and I
You
think
have
this
to watch
isn't this the last season, isn't it, for the betting companies to be on the shirts?
Yeah, on the shirts. Yeah.
I think it goes away then 25, 26. I think it is, or 26, 27. So, and if you look at the amount of teams at the moment sponsored by betting companies on their shirts and stuff like that, it is crazy.
What's his name? The actor I do see him at halftime, Ray Winston, isn't it?
Yes,
if you check out now, you could win this and all that.
He does all the ads,
Right, like
it's everywhere. So Tony, look at Tony getting banned, and the team is sponsored by Hollywood Bets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brentford sponsored by Hollywood Bets, and this gets a 6-month ban for having a bet. Crazy.
I'm sure Stoke Stadium is the Bet 365 Stadium, and loads of others have it now. It's all going to be big changes, like.
Well, do you know
next season will be just a 365 stadium.
365.
Well, I had this with my father. I brought my dad down to Wexford last week, and my dad's football daft, you know. And we were talking about stadiums, Old Trafford, Anfield. You know what I mean? St James's Park, back in Leeds, you know, Ellen Road. But now the stadiums are the Allianz, and you know, the stadiums now are. Like you look at the Aviva, for example.
Aviva, yeah.
And that's what I said to me, that if Man United ever changed the name of their stadium, I don't think I'd support them anymore. And he goes, why not? I said, because Old Trafford is Old Trafford. Anfield is Anfield. Wembley is Wembley. White Hart Lane was White Hart Lane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was always this identity that the fans had with the stadium. But if you're calling it the Allianz or whatever, the fucking EBS stadium, give over. I mean, they're just selling their soul, aren't they?
Big time.
Well, you know, Tony, if they do end up demolishing it and doing the new stadium, you know it's coming. It's 100% coming, isn't it? It won't be Old Trafford. It'll be the new life assurance Old Trafford or something like that. It's coming.
That would kill me. That would kill me. And Browner Acer said there. Sorry, I was just going to say Acer said there a few minutes ago about the New Jersey. Did you see the New Jersey today launched?
Yeah, the Snapdragon or something?
Snapdragon,
Snapdragon.
yeah. The new sponsor for the next 3 years with an option for another 2 years and stuff like that. But there was I don't know if you've seen the ad, the Cantona. Did you see it?
Yeah, sadly, isn't it?
Very, very good, very good.
Yeah.
Did you see it, Niall?
Did I see that one? No, I probably
He's
haven't
good
seen
in
it.
it, isn't
Maybe
he?
I did.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
The
He's
selfie
brilliant.
with Sir Alex and stuff like that, very good, I have to say.
I noticed the promotion of the new jersey today. They used the 3 young lads. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
They were
like
heavily
the
weighted.
celebration
The
they
3
did that
boys that
time,
did the
yeah.
celebration they did that time, which I thought
Hoyle,
was
Mania
interesting.
and Garnacho.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you
My
go.
young lad
Acers
got
after
his new
count there.
jerseys
Look,
off. Say
there you
that
go,
again?
Tony. You'll be going to the Ineos Arena. The Ineos Arena. There you
Brown,
go.
I don't
Tony,
mind this
listen.
Acers. He's always fishing on a Monday night. Don't mind.
Oh.
Don't
Ineos
listen to any of that.
Arena. Yeah. One final one for you lads. Newcastle. Eddie Howe not happy. Very disappointed at these deals being made and these players leaving and potentially more high-end players leaving as well. Potentially, they're in a bit of trouble over PSR and FFP. So El Eddie's not happy. I'd imagine is Eddie setting himself up for the England job here
England
or
job,
something like
yeah.
that by the sounds of things?
That's
You
what I
know,
was
when
thinking.
Southgate exits the building.
Yeah, but the other side of that is who's out there to take over that job. And you know, the English FA be anal enough anyway of who they appoint. They have to control that person. Eddie doesn't come across as a guy that likes to be controlled. He's very young. I listened to him a couple of interviews. I thought he was quite good and very knowledgeable and very set in his ways, what he wants. Yeah, he could be the next England manager. Like, who else is out there? Graham Potter. He's out of the loop, isn't he? Really?
They were talking. Lee Carsey was obviously linked with it because he came up through the same way as obviously Gareth Southgate did, managing the underage team and stuff like that. So
done a fantastic job with them as well. Won a championship.
He has, yeah. But
yeah, he's done. He's from what I hear from people I spoke to. They said he's very good, coach. You know what I mean? So yeah, you wouldn't know, would you? You'd be mad enough to take that job, wouldn't you?
No, I was just going to say that, yeah. You want to have some neck to take it, all right?
Oh, you'd be just plagued. You'd be plagued from minute one, no matter what you do, good or bad. You know, you're just
the England job.
Yeah.
I don't know. That 8 million a year, like for being part time, I take it. You know, I could take a lot of heat. It could sit with me all right. You know what I mean? As I spend a month in the Caribbean and stuff like that every so often, and I'm getting paid to work about 8 weeks a year and stuff. You know, show up to old dinners and charities and stuff. And all. I think I could probably handle it. You know.
Come here, just before you go, fellas. We're talking about the England job. What about the Ireland job? Like, it's thrown into a bit of a fiasco, isn't it? Who's going to take the job? Is O'Shea going to take it? Was Keane interviewed that time? I mean, that's another poison chalice as well, isn't it?
It's getting embarrassing how long it's going on, and they put O'Shea in for the intern and the 2 games, and then he's getting in for more and stuff, and you wouldn't know what they're doing. Like, you know, there has to be changes again in the boardroom, I think, as well. Before they can sort anything out, because it's an absolute shambles it is. And listen, you wouldn't expect any more from the FAI, really, would you? You know?
No. Well, you look at Stephen Kenny. I was on a couple of coaching courses with Stephen, and very great time from him. But if you're a player, right, playing in England in a Premiership, and this guy is managing you, where's your mind? Because you're looking at Stephen Kenny going, this man hasn't really achieved that in the game.
Yeah, in terms of...
So, you know, he went to Scotland that time, was it? Or Livingston?
St. Livingston, yeah.
Yeah, and he's done well here, in fairness to him. And now he's at Pats. So, do you know what I mean?
He hasn't hit the ground running at Pats either, Browner.
No, he hasn't.
They're struggling big time.
And signed a lovely contract as well.
Yeah. You know, he was actually meant to turn up for longer, wasn't he, Mark?
He was, yeah. I was talking to Willie Tyrrell about it. Obviously, Willie was playing for Longford, and when we went after the meet and greet, we went into the room where the Longford players was, and I was catching up with Willie, and he was saying, Stevens, after letting us down, I was like, no way.
Bad form. Yeah, he should have come up, in fairness, you know what I mean? He was part of that club, and he done well with them, and it kind of helped him in his career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And I know Willie had said, obviously, with his ties with St. Pat's, and I said to Willie, sure, it's a game for Longford. You know, he's managed
Yeah.
them. If you're a Pats fan, you're not going to diss him for going out to Longford on a Saturday afternoon to manage them in a Legends game, like, you know.
Yeah, no, and it's only. I mean, I'm sure Stephen has done other stuff for other clubs, you know, whether it's Dundalk or whatever. But I thought it was bad form. But so look, it happens, you know.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah, I think. I mean, what do we think the issue is with the managerial? Is it just does it basically come down to money, or is it just that it's not as attractive as it used to be, or how
No,
do
I
you
don't
feel,
think
Tony?
it's.
What's your thoughts on it?
I don't think it is attractive. I mean, a lot of the players. I mean, let's be honest. We 1 or 2 in the Premiership, and the other players would be probably Championship players.
Yeah.
And we are found out massively when we go up the gears. And you even look at Georgia. If we play Georgia now, the batters, they're just their technique, their fitness levels. There's a sharpness about them. They're all these other teams are getting better and developing, and we don't seem to be. And I've been having this row for years with the FEI from when I got my first coaching badges. I always thought it was a buddy's plan, you know. It was always, you know, if you're not in the club type of thing. I know it could be wrong. That could have changed, and then the coaching format has changed again. Yeah, it costs you a lot of money for your coaching badges, and then, you know, sometimes when you go to the courses, you're going, Jesus Christ, we're so far behind. That's why I used to go to Ajax all the time.
Yeah.
Myself and Colin used to be in clubs over to Ajax, and the FEI never recognised what we did, and rightly so. It's not an official coaching badge, but I learned more in Ajax in 2 years than I did in 15 years here.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mad,
From underage football to the development, and that's the problem with the Dutch, because they are built for development and not for winning. The mindset is different, but they develop them kids from early age. Tips, technique, insight, personality, and speed. That was their mantra. That was Johan Cruyff. So they're the 4 elements you needed to, in their opinion, to excel at football.
Yeah.
So technique and speed, but insight and personality was to do with mental health. So you had to be mentally strong. They were just brilliant. And the amount of people I met over there, I met Clivert, I met Roberto Carlos, Edward van der Sar, and it's like us talking here. They were just so down to earth.
It's mad, isn't it? Like,
yeah. And a different mindset. Blew me away. No referees, only the age of 16 or something.
That's mad, isn't it? Like, they had remember Rude Doctor was over here with the FEI, and he introduced playing for underage. The keeper couldn't kick it out of his hands. He had to roll it out or pass it out to a defender to teach them how to play from the back, because, you know, when you're reffing a game and you're under 11s or 12s, the ball's just like boom, back and forth. So he introduced it where you had to, like, obviously there was an area where the attacker would have to stay outside till the defender inside that area touched the ball, and you can just play it out from the back then, you know. And he brought that in, and it's mad to think that, I think that was probably 2018, 2019, when you think about it, which is late enough, like, for stuff like that to be introduced in schoolboy football.
I remember in Ajax, the keepers were playing with, they played 5-a-side, right? So it was all possession football, but the keepers were in that group because the keepers had to be able to take the ball and pass the ball, and then they go off and do all their, you know, their goalkeeper stuff.
Yeah.
They were always involved in the football side and playing because they had to be control the ball. Exactly. And when that back pass rule, if you remember, I remember Derek Kennedy up my side. Derek was one of the best goalkeepers I've ever seen. But see, when they brought in the back pass rule, he was brutal. Absolutely brutal. 2 left feet. And the best goalkeeper I've seen, the football goalkeeper, is probably Derek Masterson.
Derek,
he came to Ballybrack back and won us the league, and he played for me when I was in Wayside. I was manager up there, and he's probably the best goalkeeper I've ever seen for putting the ball anywhere. He was doing that years ago.
That's mad. Good.
I worked with both those boys at Microsoft. 20 and yeah.
Derek and Paul.
They were very good footballers. Very good footballers.
Paul, I think Paul still has the record on Wayside. He's the most goals scored. And I used to say to Peter Lennon, I'd leave Twinny. I used to wind Twinny up. I'd say, Paul, I'm going to put you on the last 10 minutes. And he'd be so wound up, he'd get me the winner, right? Twinny used to watch players. He'd say, Browner, put me on because the centre half, I'll get a penalty out of him or I'll come in as blindside. Very clever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's what he done. You must have been averaging 20 goals a season, Paul.
Serious.
Yeah, serious goal scorer.
And I think his daughter's playing with P-Man. She's doing very well
right.
for herself.
That's the goalkeeper. Derek, his young one is playing. She's playing for P-Mount. Derek does the coaching out there. Derek was brilliant. Brilliant player. The two of them are brilliant. Paul was, for me, towards the end of his career, he lost the yard. But my God, he was so clever. He was so clever playing football.
Yeah.
You know
I remember seeing him playing for Rosemount a few times back in the day as well, and just his touch and everything, like back to goal, turn, bang on a sixpence, like.
Yeah, he was brilliant, tough as nails, and a good guy. The two of them are great fellas as well. In fairness, they were just brilliant. Never let me down.
The old undercuts back in the day. Do you remember the hair?
That's right. Yeah. They had the Grealish hair, didn't they? Before Grealish was even
before Grealish, exactly.
Yeah. They used to get some slag at Dumb and Dumber.
Lads, 103 minutes gone here in extra time. Portugal have just been awarded a penalty.
Oh, go away. I wonder who's going to take it. Here we go, huh?
It's all about him.
He put it over the bar. Watch Chris Waddle. Boom!
We'll stick with the penalty. Trip Diogo Jota.
Yeah.
Diogo should walk over and take the ball out and take it.
Exactly, yeah.
Penalty is under review at the moment, though, so may or may not happen. We shall see.
Oh. Interesting.
Jesus.
Bit of argy going on, huh?
Yeah, what the hell?
That's what you want. That's what you want at these things. A bit
of
life.
Just staying out of it all. The three Portugal players standing around the penalty spot, so they were trying to obviously make a little divot in it, alright.
Penalty stands, a penalty coming up.
Yeah. Which way is he going to go? Keeper's left?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, God.
Pressure for tires.
Pressure for tires, huh?
That's it.
He'll probably miss it. Watch. Here we go. Oh! He missed it!
Cristiano. I'm a few seconds behind here because of my... I should be watching on the normal
Keeper's left. I told you. Save. Bang.
Bang on, Browner.
Yeah.
Momentum is with Slovenia now.
Wow. That's good. We might be in for a penalty later on then, will we?
Yeah, could be.
Browner, that's another thing. I was surprised we didn't get penalties down in Longford after the game finished 3-0.
Yeah, we tried that years ago, but it went on for about a week.
Yeah. So you have to get back to the hotel and all then.
But look, the way you look at it is the 3-0 was a fair result. They went 3-0 up, got 3 goals back. Even though United had 14 players on the pitch,
I remember at the end, you and Mike Phelan were standing there. Go on, get on there.
Yeah. we done the game. We done the game in Wexford years ago, and I actually played in it myself from a young lad. And I think United had 16 players on at one stage.
Serious?
Yeah, we were losing 3-1 about 5 minutes to go, and we got a goal, and then the last minute referee gave us a penalty. Clayton Blackmore, the biggest dive I've ever seen. What an Oscar he should have got for that. He only went, it was deadly.
Clayton's some man, isn't he? He's great.
He's a diamond. And people forget, I always remind them of the cup winners against Barcelona. And he was brilliant on that night. You know what I mean? And he's done well for us over the years. He got some great goals and he had a great career down in Middlesbrough. I think he went to Middlesbrough with Robson.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
Part of the revolution up there.
Yeah.
But a nice guy, United mad, and just Welsh blood. Oh, he's just fantastic.
He's great crack. Anytime I've talked to him where I was having a bit of a crack with him at the meet and greet because we were sitting down for breakfast, right?
Yeah.
We're just having breakfast and I seen him across and Caroline walked in and the head just went up like that, followed across the room. I was saying it to him. because he was telling me he's been married 3 times and all.
Yeah. He's slagging me because I was married twice and he's married 3 times. He said they're trying to catch up me, Browner. Rod Stewart, I call him. He's that many marriages.
He's great crack.
Brilliant.
He's great crack. He's great to talk to as well. He has to crack with everyone.
He's a diamond. And he is the link. He's the glue. Like, he's the one that told me about David Moyes, and I didn't believe him. And when he came over a couple of months later, he says, "What did I tell you, David Moyes?" So he has his finger on the pulse. He'd be very, and he does a bit of work for them as well, ambassador stuff. So, and he's a good guy. He is a good guy. You know what I mean?
He is. He's bang on. He's bang on.
Yeah, he's sound. He's a great guy.
Well, listen, lads, great show as always. Brilliant. Tony, appreciate you taking the time to come on as always. Again, folks, don't forget to check out Letterkenny Rovers FC.ie is the website. There's all the information on the screen. It's also down in the description. Make sure also you're looking after your follows and all that stuff on socials with Legends 11. And also ourselves as well, and Marky over at Hogan Elite Trophy here. All these things are really, really important. Make sure you're dropping a like on the video on the way out as well, subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell notification button. Tony, as always, a pleasure having you on. We'll get you back on again as always.
Anytime, lads. I love it. Like,
great to have you.
You could sit here all night, couldn't you?
100%. 100%. Like,
absolutely.
Taste of the world.
Like, but it's mad. You just sit here. We started off talking about Letterkenny, then we got the twinnies. Like, do you know what I mean? It's mad how it goes around.
And to keep it local too, you know yourself.
That's it. That's it, man.
Yeah, look, I mean, you just mentioned Rosemount there as well. That club should have been one of the biggest clubs in Dublin. They were such a brilliant, probably one of the best junior teams I've ever seen. Yeah. They were just phenomenal. We had the ground. You know,
and it was like remember that the hut is still there, and obviously they built the change rooms out of far corner, which Mount Marion had got then. Mount Marion were coming, like, I'm sure Browner from Longford Stadium back to the hotel. Me and you were just chatting about everyone. Ted Doyle and all, Eddie Doyle, and
he's what a player.
Junior international, some player, wasn't he? Like Mr. Gunning.
Joey Gunning, salmon off a trampoline, Joey. I've never seen a guy with a jump like him. He was brilliant. And do you know what? There were so many players back then, and it's only now, when it comes to age as well, you just look back and say, my God, they were actually they were brilliant.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Philly was probably one of the most underrated goalkeepers. Ivor Matheson. Ivor was mad. God, he was just mad. What a player.
He was something else. He put his head in anyway. You were talking about centre halves like that, and obviously him and Philly were very, very close, you know, playing right. Philly was playing behind Ivor and stuff like that, but someone like obviously Packy Gaffney, Ray Crowley are there, and some players, man.
Yeah, Joey
we talked about Dermot Judge.
Yeah, the two Bennetts are like something out of a Wham video.
Mary.
Open faces, the two of them.
Lads, the old Bennetts. Jesus
they were
Christ.
Brilliant.
I remember it was Alan. Alan was on the table dancing in Tom's, singing one night. So it was just like, I was probably only about 10 or 11 going, what the hell is this lad on? Like, and they were all calling him Mary. I was like, where'd they get that from? Mary Bennett. Yeah.
Still has the name. And who else? I used to love slagging. Remember Jerry Coughlin?
Yeah. He's still involved with them.
Yeah, he's probably. I used to say to Jer, you're probably the worst footballer I've ever seen on the planet, and he actually took pride in that. Do you know what I mean?
Left full.
He's a bigger arse than Neil Ruddock.
Yeah,
he's just brutal.
I wouldn't mind. He always used to get slagged in the IGB because they always said he always looked wrecked even before the warm up. You know, from walking in the dressing room in the IGB across the car park onto the pitch, because you'd have him playing left full, his brother Barry playing right full, and all. Lads!
Like someone else saying Michael's house. I actually said to him, "You never told me, Jerry, you were in the movie business. What do you mean? That part you got in the Goonies? No, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Guys, image.
Hey guys.
Oh,
and then the man I used to call Parisi, Anto Doyle, in the middle of midfield.
Jesus Christ. Anto, my God. I think Anto's playing football. How long ago? Gee, how long ago I know Anto now? George Michael was straight. That's how long I know Anto.
Yeah.
That's going back. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. You know Anto, what he's like. You went on holiday one time, and Anto's a few years younger than my dad or whatever, and he was playing for the IGB, and he went on holiday to Tenerife, and he came back, and he had gotten his nipple pierced on holiday,
Yeah,
and he was like, he was
I
in his,
remember that.
he'd be well into his 40s or whatever, and I always remember the lads trying to grab it, train, and try to, rip it off him.
Yeah.
And all. You want to see him, like, he was
He's
unreal.
unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Jesus, he's mad. Anto must be 122 now or something.
Yeah,
He's
he'd
around
have to
forever.
be. He'd have to
Isn't
be.
Yeah. I think he actually
still-
toured with the Rolling Stones at the start.
He's still going strong. He is. He's still going strong.
Yeah, I was talking to him there a couple of weeks ago. I'm on a clean diet, Brown. I'm doing this and doing that. Mad.
So he's the punching bag and all down in the garage underneath.
He's the whole gym down there.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Benjamin Button. He's like.
Love it.
Brilliant. Well, lads, pleasure as always. Listen, get off and
Yes.
enjoy the last of the ball and the penalties and hopefully and all that kind of stuff. Talk again real soon, Tony. We'll have you on.
Yeah,
And
my
Marky,
pleasure, lads.
as
I'll
always.
Cheers,
talk to you
Tony.
soon.
Cheers.
Good luck, lads.
Cheers,
Well done.
folks.
Talk to you soon.
Cheers.
Take care, lads.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.